Hello and welcome. It is Digital Marketing This Week, episode number 17. Episode number 17. Hope everybody had a wonderful week. This, of course, is brought to you by Seriously Simple Marketing over at SeriouslySimpleMarketing.com. And let's jump right into it. Who am I? Chris Mercer, content developer, optimization expert, host of course Digital Marketing This Week. And yeah, just go ahead and call me Mercer. Keeps it easy. Okay, this week's focus topic is all about affiliate marketing. And in particular, we wanted to cover some simple tips for you to get started. Now, if you're watching this live and you've got a question, it's not a problem. Just go to ssm.tips/question, and we'll go ahead and get you answered in this particular webinar. Of course, if you have a question afterward, you can always see us on the show notes and put a comment there, and we can get back to you that way as well. So again, our topic this week is all about affiliate marketing, and what we're doing is we're calling it the 7 simple steps to better affiliate marketing. So some of these tips are going to be a little general, and some are going to be a little more specific, because we wanted to be able to cover as wide an audience as possible. So let's go ahead and jump in. Of course, we're also going to cover one thing that you absolutely want to make sure you avoid when it comes to affiliate marketing. Okay, so let's go ahead and move into right away simple tip number 1, the offer. Okay, so this is all about what exactly your affiliate offer is going to be. So the very first thing we'd like to do is have you survey your existing audience. Ask them kind of what's useful. It's a very simple way to find out exactly the types of products that you should be promoting, whether it's your own or, of course, in this case, affiliate offers. You can also research Amazon. Now, if you haven't thought to do this, check out the reviews. So this is a way to do, it's kind of like keyword research. When you go to Amazon, see what people are searching for. Specifically, maybe you've got an affiliate site, and let's just keep it to, let's do it BizOp, right? So like make money online space, and you wanted to do some books. Maybe you wanted to promote Jeff Walker's book. I believe it's called Launch is the name of his book, or maybe Shoe Money's book. Jeremy Shoemaker goes by Shoe Money, and over at shoemoney.com, he's got a book, and Pat Flynn's got a book, and maybe you want to do like a little niche site of all these different books. You can go to Amazon, you can research, you can see just how popular these books are. You can also look at the reviews, and that will tell you 2 things. Number 1, the more reviews there are, the more popular the item is in general, not just with books, but with everything. And the second reason that you want to look at reviews is because reviews will tell you the language that people are using. So you can actually email them using terms and jargon that's similar to what they were looking for. So they'll say something like, maybe it's a negative review and it says, oh, I thought this book didn't really have it was mostly fluff and didn't really have any good tactics. And then you can mention how, a particular product maybe is, no fluff and all tactics or something like that. So just as an example. So, but look at the reviews and sort of model the language that you see there. Of course, you always want to test and track. Now we use Infusionsoft as our CRM. So whether you're using Infusionsoft, Onraport, even Aweber, you can track when people click on links. So if you email out an offer, and let's say we were doing an offer on, let's say SEO plugins. So we did an offer recently on SEO plugins. For everybody that clicked on that offer to go to the sales page, we tagged as interested in WordPress plugins and interested in SEO, because now we can actually have a more segmented conversation to that group of individuals. And if there is a particular SEO product that comes out, we can email it just to that particular segment. If it's a WordPress plugin that we want to promote, we can email to that particular segment. So there's some pretty cool stuff that you can do when you test and, of course, track the results. And I'm gonna give you some sources if you're wondering, okay, where do we find all these products? Some very, very simple ones. ClickBank, super simple to get started on, create an account. Commission Junction, also pretty easy. And Commission Junction, along with ShareASale, Commission Junction, ShareASale, and let's say Amazon. So those 3 are really good if you're not interested in like the digital products. ClickBank and JVZoo, they do a lot of digital stuff. So this is where all your digital programs are, all that sort of stuff. ClickBank, a little birdie told me, will be coming out with some new and interesting changes for vendors. And what that means, I'll give you an example. So with ClickBank, you weren't able as a vendor to do coaching, because ClickBank had a rule that said you had to only sell products on ClickBank that could deliver right away. In other words, you couldn't sell something that was going to happen in the future. And of course, coaching is exactly that, right? So you buy coaching and then you schedule an appointment and you meet with the coach. Well, ClickBank is about to do a little test, and assuming everything goes well, then from what I hear, they're actually going to start allowing coaching. And so that means you can actually get paid on these higher ticket coaching items as affiliates. So some pretty interesting stuff there to take a look at and keep an eye on when it comes to ClickBank. But again, ClickBank, JVZoo, perfect for digital offers, really easy to set up accounts for and pretty easy to use. Commission Junction, ShareASale, Amazon, you'll find a lot more stuff there. Like if you have a clothes site and you want, or a shoes site or something like that, Amazon, Commission Junction, you'll find products there. All right. Also keep in mind, you've got digital, physical, and services. So again, you've got the digital products, you've got physical if you were selling shoes or something like that, and you've got services. That's where the coaching and all that fun stuff comes in. So let's talk about tip number 2. That's the promotion. So this is where you're actually screaming out to the world, check this out. Like, how do you get people to actually see this offer? Of course, number 1, obvious one, it's email. So if you're not building a list, and you will hear this from me and everybody else in the world, build a list. So figure out a way to collect emails. You can also, of course, do it with blog post reviews. You'll see that we do that a lot on ours. We also do YouTube reviews, and those YouTube reviews will point back to the blog post reviews to help those get traffic. And then one thing to consider when you're doing these reviews, and you've seen them, right? You've typed in something like, oh, Easy Video Suite, let me go check it out. And all you see is like a million people going, oh, is Easy Video Suite a scam? Let's check it out. Of course, it's never a scam. It's just somebody's review site. But consider if the content is actually good quality content. Would you share it? Is it useful? So when you're doing your content, try to provide something that somebody will go like, okay, I got value out of this. Even if they don't click on the ad, it was objective and it had value. And we do our best to make sure that we're doing that. We've got some that are, most of our reviews are positive. There are some that are not positive. GoDaddy, for example, we don't like GoDaddy, so we let everybody know that. But HostGator, we're fine with. They've had some ups and downs, but they're doing pretty well. And so, being honest and giving people information. In fact, if you look at the HostGator review that we did, I'd love your opinion on it, just because we felt it was pretty objective, because HostGator, if you've been around for the past, let's say, year or so, HostGator, Bluehost, all those companies are basically owned by the same big conglomerate, and they had massive outages that took down a lot of people for a good chunk of a day. And it's happened a few times over the past year, which is just unheard of. That's never happened before. What was happening was they were moving data centers, and they're physically moving their servers and switching connections, and things broke, as you might imagine. So, but our opinion on that, we put that in the review. Yes, that particular thing does suck, but they still have higher uptime than a lot of other people. And we felt that they had learned a lot from this. I mean, if you've got a company who's got, hundreds of millions of dollars behind it, and, it's huge, and they've put all this infrastructure in place, and they've learned, because they suffered a lot. Their reputation really, really suffered. So they've learned from it. And who's better to learn from it? Somebody like HostGator, who's that big, or some little guy who didn't really, nobody really bitched or complained because, they couldn't tell they were even down because nobody uses their hosting. Whereas HostGator is way up on the radar. And so it's something to consider. But again, that we thought was content. Like, you could educate you on something, even if you didn't use it as an affiliate link. But of course, obviously there were affiliate links in there. Number 3 is traffic. So now, how do you get cold traffic? First, you want to target, obviously, who's most likely to buy, right? You want to make sure you're consistently emailing people. So I've actually had some clients that have had this problem. So they will not email a list because they only want to email them content, or they want to only email them a really good offer if they see it. And that's admirable. The problem is it doesn't necessarily work in the real world, because what happens is the list forgets about them. And I'm speaking from experience, because we have a list that we had started with years ago, and we were mailing them fairly consistently in the beginning, and they were like, okay, we don't want to hammer them. And so we're gonna back off, right? We're gonna be good marketers and back off. Well, all of a sudden, what started happening, because we weren't emailing them as often, we weren't having interaction signals as often, meaning people weren't opening our emails, obviously, as often. And so when we would email, less people would open, so open rates started dropping. People wouldn't realize who we were. They would forget about us, because meanwhile, they've signed up for 700 other lists, right? And so we got kind of buried, and they forgot why they even signed up for us, or, even though, and they were all double opted in. So it wasn't like, anything spammy. This was an email they had asked to get, but they would still mark it as spam. And we realized, what we did actually is just start emailing more. And when we did that, all that stuff went away, which was amazing. So consistently email. That's the trick here. Make sure that if you're going to do an email, like in our case with Seriously Simple Marketing, we now do Thursday emails for affiliate stuff. So anything that's a third-party offer, we're going to do it on Thursdays. And we have a little schedule of products that we go through, and things that we're using, or promotions are coming up that we want to let people know about, even products that we're investigating that we think are kind of cool. One that we recently did was Dynamic VSL. That's one of the new things on the marketplace. We're kind of looking at it, see if it's interesting. Right now we use Easy Video Suite as our video player, and we love it. It's great. But Dynamic VSL had a few different options that we were taking a look at, so we figured we'd let everybody know. So consistently email, big deal. Cold traffic. Now, this is, of course, if you're going to scale out, right? If you're going to be a true just affiliate marketer, and the guys who do this for a living, like I don't consider us affiliate marketers. We do affiliate marketing, but we're not necessarily affiliate marketers. The people who are professional affiliate marketers, they do lots of cold traffic, and they're pushing Facebook and AdWords and something called Outbrain. So if you haven't heard of Outbrain, you want to take a look at this. This is, if you've ever been to sites like maybe CNN.com. Okay, so this is a really good one. Go to CNN.com, pull up any news story. At the bottom of the news story, you will see probably a block of 6 ads, right? Where there's 3 at the top and 3 at the bottom, and they all have, and I guarantee you've probably seen them around the web. They all have titles like, the thinnest celebrity stomachs, or horrible lost tricks your doctors want you to know about, things like that, right? All these sort of BuzzFeed-like titles. Well, what's happening there, that's actually a service called Outbrain. There's another one that operates like it called Taboola, Taboola. But they both work the same way, which is basically those are putting ads on CNN.com. Those ads click back to basically what are blog posts, because you can't do sales pages and you can't do squeeze pages. Okay, so it's kind of like a little bit like AdWords in that way. But they all go back to these blog posts, these blog pages, and then it's either the 37 different pictures of celebrities that have lips that look like apples or whatever, and then those sites are making their money off traffic, right? They're just getting a bunch of people to see sites and hooks and stuff like that, or maybe just selling other people that are clicking on Outbrain ads on their pages. So that's sort of how they work. But the marketers, these are the ones, and this is, you can pretty much tell pretty quickly if it's going to be a marketing page. It'll be something about diet or health or fitness or anything like that, insurance, how to save money on insurance, see all that sort of stuff. Well, you click on those because you'll take a look at them, and there'll be a blog post, and they'll talk about the sneaky insurance rates of how the state governments are now going to be raising insurance rates. But here's a couple of ways that you can make sure you can avoid that. And click here for more information, and you click there, and it goes to a lead gen form, to get an insurance quote, something like that. So click on those, and you can get an idea of how they're getting traffic. Those are professionals. A lot of people who make a lot of money in affiliate marketing are using services like Outbrain. So go ahead and look at it, even if you can sniff it out, right? So because you're a marketer, you're trained for this sort of stuff, but the market necessarily isn't. So there's a lot of people who look at that and go, okay, well, that's pretty useful information from an insurance perspective. I appreciate that. Let me go ahead and click on here and see if I can get a better rate than what I have right now. There are a lot of people who will do that, even if you necessarily won't. So take a look at that system. It's actually something we're investigating right now. So Facebook, we've been doing for a while. Facebook for sure. Take a look at, because you can just target it so highly. But the Outbrain stuff, we're actually pushing some traffic to our blog on that. And the main reason we're doing that is just to test it and play with it. We literally started this about, as of this recording, 2 days ago. So we don't have a whole lot to talk about yet, but we will when we know a little bit more about how it's going to work and how we can take advantage of the traffic. Tip number 4, this is something called PrettyLink Pro. Now there's PrettyLink Lite, which is also a WordPress plugin. Okay, these are all WordPress plugins now. So PrettyLink Pro is pretty cool because, and this is why you need the Pro version. So, and I think it's, off the top of my head, I believe this is one of those $37 plugins if you just have one site, and if you have a developer site or a developer's license, you can do $97, and then you can use it for anybody. But what's cool about this is this PrettyLink is something like if you went to a certain domain and it redirects to another one, you could do that. So I could type in, I could create, I don't have this set up, but I could create Seriously Simple Marketing / PrettyLink Pro, and that would redirect to the PrettyLink affiliate link, right? So that's what a PrettyLink is essentially. And then the reason I like it, because we actually have a link shortener, which is slightly different. So that's why you see all these ssm.tips domains. But what we do is we actually will use PrettyLink Pro for linking keywords. And so it will automatically go through, and you can tell it, okay, everywhere you see hosting or hosting package or host or website host, right, or website, you can define all these different words, and you can say, I want you to randomly hyperlink those with my HostGator affiliate link. If you were trying to do HostGator. And so it'll go through your blog, all of your posts, and it'll pick every, 2 or 3 times per page, or maybe even once per page. You can actually define that so it doesn't look all super link spammy. But it's really interesting to be able to do that because you don't have to go back and do it. PrettyLink automatically does it for you. So if you already have a blog with a lot of content, you can just go through and say, okay, great, everywhere I said hosting, every 3 or 4 times, use this to go ahead and link in the HostGator link or Bluehost or whatever your favorite hosting company is. Same thing with WordPress, and maybe themes, the WordPress themes or the word themes. You can actually link to ThemeForest or Envato or something like that. So it's a really cool tool to get some pretty quick affiliate links going. Another little tip that was interesting is linking images. Now, we don't do this. And when we were doing some studies, it's sort of like, okay, what's a really good tip? I realized we weren't doing this. So we need to go back and do this. But here's a snapshot of our lynda.com review. And what we do is we don't have any links at all to the images because, by default, if you don't do this, if you don't adjust your links, if you don't adjust your images, WordPress will mostly make it so that if you click on the link, it's still linked. It'll just open up as its own image, right? And if you've ever clicked on a blog where you click on the image and it just goes to a picture of the image, that's the sort of stuff that is that'll show. And it's horrible because it takes them out of the blog and dumps them into a dead end page, which is just your image that they just clicked on. So what we do is we remove the links so that they're basically not clickable. But what we should be doing is really linking the images so that if somebody does click on the images, and they do, images get clicked all the time. People, for some reason, just like clicking on images, especially because even in this particular case, this image has a join now button, right? It says become a member, join now. Somebody might mistake that for an actual button and they could click on that. And I probably there will be, so we get enough traffic to the page, we'll probably see that. So these are where we should go back and then make sure that we update all of our image so that when you click on them, you actually go to the lynda.com site through our affiliate link and in this case, get the 14-day trial. So, that's a nice little tip that we also realized, wow, we should be doing this. So this was a cool one. So linking images, very, very simple way to get additional affiliate links out there and more traffic to your affiliate links. And obviously the more traffic you have, the more of a chance there is of somebody using your link to purchase something. Number 6 is the resources page. So this is a tools page or a resources page. If you've got a blog, again, it's about a certain niche or a topic, just have a resources page, have a tools page. We should have this, right? We should have this on public. We're building this out for the members area that we've got for people who have the Seriously Simple websites course or the Seriously Simple analytics course. But, we don't have a public facing one, and why not? Right? There's nothing wrong with that. So we should definitely go ahead and do that. We do a lot of categories where people can go through and look up reviews and things like that. But I think it'd be much better for us to build a resources page, and then maybe we can link to reviews or just have a little thing that says, hey, read our review, or go directly to the product page, something like that. And we can have those as affiliate links. So again, resources page, huge potential. Next up, legal pages. So compliance, big deal, very big deal. If you're thinking, okay, I'm small, who's going to go after me? Chances are you're right? Who's really going to go after you? However, why even have that as an option? What's going to happen is it's not going to necessarily be the government that's going to come after you. It'll be the affiliate that you're promoting, because they have to make sure that you're compliant too, or they do their best to make sure, or the network that you're promoting with will help to make sure that you're compliant. They're going to follow up with you. So there is a very simple plugin. It's one that we use too. It's called WP Legal Pages. And this is also good. It doesn't just do affiliate disclosures. And if you want an example, just go to SeriouslySimpleMarketing.com. You'll see at the bottom, scroll all the way down to the bottom, you'll see a bunch of disclosures. Those were created using this plugin, WP Legal Pages. And so what we did is we just have an affiliate disclosure, an affiliate earnings disclosure. We have an FTC statement. We've got privacy statement in terms and conditions. So we have all that stuff. It was all created with WP Legal Pages, and it basically asks you a few different questions as far as what may or may not apply to you in your particular example, and then kind of go from there. But it is a super useful plugin, and I don't remember how much this one is, but I believe it's pretty cheap. The reason I don't know the price, I know they sell it on its own, but there's a service. It's trying to remember the domain. It's WPEKA, which I have no idea how they actually pronounce that. Wapika, something like that, but it's WPEKA.com, and they have a whole bunch of plugins. So we just subscribe to that. So it's like $100 a year, something like that, and they give you access to all of their plugins. And they have plugins like this. They have plugins like Survey Funnel and all sorts of little niche plugins that many of which we don't use, but some of which are occasionally interesting, and for the $100 it makes sense for us. So that's where that comes from. Again, it's called WP Legal Pages. And again, this is just for compliance. The other thing you want to do from a compliance standpoint is make sure in your emails that you're putting some sort of affiliate disclaimer. And so what should happen on our Thursday emails, we do a couple of things. One is we have the disclaimer that's like, hey, you know, if you click on these links, we're going to get rewarded with some cash. So that's sort of the basic message that you want to say. You never want to insinuate that you're not getting something, or you basically want to disclose that there could be a conflict of interest, which is essentially what you're saying, right? So it's basically saying, hey, as an affiliate, if you click on this link and buy it, I'm saying it's really good, but know that I'm also getting paid if you buy it. So there is an inherent conflict of interest there. And that's all you're saying. As long as you disclose that, you're good, right? That's the spirit of the law. That's the spirit of compliance. As long as you're doing that and you're not trying to obfuscate it or hide it or anything like that, you're golden. The other thing that we do, again, because we can with Infusionsoft, is if somebody doesn't want to receive third-party offers anymore, it's not a problem, because a lot of people still want to get access to their product updates, but they may not want affiliate offers. That's fine. They can turn those off. They just click on the little link that says no more third-party offers, and it tags them in Infusionsoft to no longer send third-party offers to that particular email address. But they're still going to get the blog updates. They're still going to get product updates. So it's something else to consider. All right, so the one thing to avoid, this is a big deal, offers versus content. You can see this guy's out of balance. So lots of people will try to do this, and it kind of works for a little bit, because you know, you're just slamming so many people with offers, but eventually they're going to just unsubscribe from you because there's just no content there. And it happens to me all the time with lists that I subscribe to. I'll buy a really cool product from somebody, maybe something on the Warrior Forum or something from a JVZoo product that I thought was really cool. You know, a little course, something that was really good, really high quality, and I would love to stay with the people, but I get on like 14 lists after I do that. And then they start slamming offers every 6 hours, it seems. So every day there's a new, latest, greatest Facebook, whatever, you know, new tool, new course, new keyword research, whatever. And it just keeps coming on and on and on. And so, but I don't get any content. I just get offers. There's no usefulness there. It's just pitch, 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 pitch. So eventually I subscribe. You know, in my case, I do it fairly quickly because I try to be a little aggressive with that. So balance that or compare that to something like Digital Marketer. So Digital Marketer does a lot of offers, right? If anyone signed up for any of Ryan Deiss's products, you know that, right? Ryan's out there and he's pitching his latest and greatest stuff, and he's coming up with new things all the time. There's always a new course coming out. But he gives a lot of content too. So he'll give, his videos are content, which is kind of nice. So the pitches are actually very educational, which I respect. So that's good. Remember, that's the ad having content. If your ad has content, people will love you. He's a perfect example of that. But what he'll also do is say, hey, this just came through the blog, right? And so you go to digitalmarketer.com, check out this, here's what we covered, here's a step-by-step, and the blog posts are really, really good. Okay, full disclosure, I'm actually one of the authors of the blog post now, because we just had our guest blog post. They asked us to do a guest blog post on some analytics stuff, so we did that, which was awesome. A great opportunity, and we thank them for that. But even before that, we still had all these things that we could go to. They had a great article on email flow. They had a great article on autoresponder copy. They had a great article on YouTube traffic. They had great articles on Facebook traffic. I mean, really meaty articles. So I haven't unsubscribed from his list. And guess what? I still buy stuff from him because I'm getting his offers, because he's not slamming me every day with an offer. There's a lot of them, don't get me wrong, but he's not slamming me, right? And he's got all this content to help balance it out. So it makes it really, really cool. Now, from his perspective, it's his own content. So it's not necessarily, you know, all affiliate marketing, but he could just as easily be an affiliate for stuff. And he is for some things. And I'm still seeing those messages, which again means more clicks that he can get from me, which is more of a chance for him to make a sale. So that pretty much does it for this episode. Thanks again for joining us for Digital Marketing This Week. I will let you get on. This is episode number 17, all about affiliate marketing. Thanks again for taking the time, and we will talk to y'all soon. Take care.